everyone, and welcome to another edition of Perspectives. I am Darren Jaime, and coming up tonight on Perspectives, we go front and center with the Bronx Overall Economic Development Corporation, a business right here in the borough of the Bronx that is really helping the Bronx to really go to the next level. For a long time, it was said that the Bronx is burning. We know now that the Bronx is no longer burning, but the Bronx is actually booming, bustling, making noise, and making some positive contributions, not just in New York City, but across the nation worldwide. We know about former Borough President Adolfo Carrion, who is now actually in the White House working as the president or the director of urban policy for President Barack Obama. Also, the pick of Sonia Sotomayor, Supreme Court Justice by the Obama administration. Justice Sotomayor is a resident and a lifelong Bronxite, and so we're glad to talk about some of the positive contributions that the Bronx is making across the world. But right here locally, there's a group of people working at the Bronx Overall Economic Development Corporation trying to make sure that economic development continues and grows here in the borough of the Bronx. Rafael Salaberries is the president of the BOEDC, as it's known. And Ray, thank you for coming and sharing with us.
Thank you for having me.
As we were talking, I was sharing a little bit about how the Bronx is really booming and busting. We talk about Yankee Stadium. We talk about a lot of businesses coming, but talk about the BOEDC and the role that it plays in shaping economic development here in the borough.
Sure. The Bronx Overall Economic Development Corporation, we are the financial consultant or advisor to the borough president of the Bronx. And basically what we try to do is to attract businesses into our borough, help existing businesses grow, produce jobs for folks in the residents of the Bronx. What we work for is try to make the Bronx a much better place to live, work, and stay in. So we do this by a myriad of products that we have. You look at the Bronx and you think about the economy as a whole. You can't think about the Bronx without thinking about what's going on in the country as a whole. As we know right now, things are tough. There's a tough times, and we have to find a way to stimulate businesses, stimulate the economy. Small business, as everyone knows, is the lifeblood of the economy. And what we try to do is give businesses access to capital. Access to capital is key. You have small businesses that need money to grow. They take this money and they buy new equipment. They invest in new ideas. And as they grow their business, they actually help employ and create new jobs. So what we want to do at the Bronx Overall Economic Development Corporation is to stimulate growth in the economy. You think about what President Barack Obama is doing with the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. That allows companies like BOEDC to lend money to small businesses. And we do this through the SBA 504 program. And what we're doing now is we are actually increasing the amount of money we put into the economy by making capital much more accessible to the small business owner.
How has things in Washington and across the nation with the economy, the recession and things like that affected your ability with small businesses?
Well, great. The thing is that this Investment Act is targeting small business owners by allowing the small business owners to access the 504 program. The 504 program works with banks where a bank will contribute 50% of a small business loan needs. The Bronx Initiative Corporation, a subsidiary of BOEDC, contributes 40%, and the owner of the business contributes 10%. So what that does, it allows the bank to feel a lot more comfortable with the loan. Well, it's kind of funny how the banks, I was a former banker myself, how the banks now are risk averse. They're really concerned about our money now. They're concerned about lending this money out. It's kind of reversal. Before the hard times, they were lending the money to everybody.
Right.
And now they're saying, well, we can't lend this money out. So what we're doing now is making it easier for them to lend by obtaining and really taking some of the risk off their plate. So they'll contribute 50% of the project, we'll contribute 40%, and the business owner contributes 10%. To add to this, to make it even more palatable to the small business owner, there are no fees involved. So what happens is that a business owner can now come to BIC and say, I need a loan from anywhere from $150,000 to $4 million for approved projects, and we'll go with this format. Again, the format allows them to borrow much more money at much lower interest rates in a longer period of time.
What is the criteria for small businesses to be able to be involved with BOEDC? Is there any criteria for them?
Well, you need to have a business. We do startups. So the criteria is how really you present yourself as a business. If you are a startup, we'll work with you, providing you technical assistance, providing you with help in writing a business plan, doing the forecasting you need so that you can present a loan package sufficient that we can take it to a bank and sell this product to a bank. So what we do is we market to all small business owners. We don't try to discriminate against any business. If you have a plan and you need capital to start this plan, we're here to help you implement that plan. And I have my business development officers out on the street working with small businesses. I mean, to date, we've lent over $21 million of small business loans to these types of small businesses. The banks themselves have contributed $37 million. So in essence, there's been about $59 million of loans that between big banks and small business owners have put down into the Bronx economy.
Let's talk about the Bronx for a second from the empowerment zone standpoint, because the Bronx is a part of the federal empowerment zone. For people who aren't familiar with the federal empowerment zone, why don't we enlighten them first as to what the federal empowerment zone is?
The federal empowerment zone was created to help stimulate what was considered blighted areas throughout the country. There are, I believe, 10 empowerment zones throughout the country. The one that's in New York City covers the tip of the Bronx, the South Bronx, and Upper Manhattan. And what happened was that the federal government, the state, and the city each contributed $100 million toward this goal. So there was a $300 million pool of monies that was allocated to help stimulate growth in the area of the empowerment zone. The empowerment zone goes from the very tip of the Port Morris section of the Bronx, and it comes around, categories around the West Bronx up to Yankee Stadium. So and then from the Hunts Point section. So what the empowerment zone does, it allows us to give out loans and grants to small businesses and not-for-profits throughout that area of the Bronx. To date, we've given out almost $35 million in loans and about $14 million in grants. And we still have money. We continue to do this process in the South Bronx. And the only caveat that we have is that you create a job. So we lend you money at below market interest rates. We've created a zero interest rate loan fund. So basically, you come into us, you borrow the money, we charge you no interest, but we require you to create a job. So for every $65,000 we lend you, our requirement is that one job, you would give us one job to a Bronx empowerment zone resident.
Talk to us a little bit about the Gateway.
The Gateway Mall is interesting. The Gateway Mall is, again, in the South Bronx, and it was the idea that area of the Bronx was a blighted area. You had the old Bronx Corner Market, which actually was working similar to an underground economy. You had small businesses there. The scenes there was decrepit. It was just a bad situation. What we did, we decided to go in working with the administration to walk in and turn that into a place where people can come, shop. There'll be parks and promenades in that area. And we worked with the developer, which was Related Group, and created this 1 million square feet mall. The idea was to make sure that mall, while it's being created, also includes Bronx residents and Bronx businesses. So we worked with the developer, BOEDC did, and made sure that, that Bronx businesses were involved in building that mall. And we worked to the point where 42% of the businesses that worked on the Bronx mall were Bronx businesses. And in essence of over $50 million of contracts were given out to Bronx businesses. Currently, we're working on the tenants of the mall to make sure the jobs are going to Bronx residents.
Let's talk about that and after we take a quick break. We want to come back and talk more about that Gateway Mall. We have to take a quick break here on Perspectives. Darren Jaime, you're watching the show. Stay with us. We're coming right back right after this.